believe in the resurrection of the dead. We believe that the 20 million black people in America in the last days will be taught the truth. The trumpet of truth will sound in your ear. And it's being sounded today, the trumpet of truth. And this truth strikes your ear and strikes your heart. It'll open your eyes. It'll open your ear. It'll make you stand up. It'll do the same thing for you that truth did for the dry bones in the valley. Because the picture of dry bones in the valley is talking about you. The picture of Lazarus laying dead 4 days is talking about you. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bones. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded. Black people are waking up. Black people are standing up. Black people are rising up and they're going back. We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the ones going to the promised land. We don't think Jews are a part of God. No, Jews are nothing but another part of that same race of devils that come out of Europe. They didn't even come out of the Holy Land. They come out of the caves of Europe. Furthermore, we believe we are the people of God's choice. As it is written that God would choose the rejected and despised. And we can find no other person fitting this description in these last days more than the so-called Negroes in America. We believe in the resurrection of the righteous. We believe in the judgment. We believe this first judgment will take place as God revealed right here in America. The judgment will take place in America. The resurrection will take place in America. The judgment will take place in America. The separation will take place in America. And the destruction will take place in America. Doom will take place in America. Doomsday will take place right here. This is the place the Bible is talking about. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set flame to in the last day. And you're living in that day right now. And I'm glad.
Damn, they're back. Who the hell are these guys? These two preacher guys, man. Where the hell they come from? Why they keep coming back? We gotta stop them. They're waking up their community. They're telling people the truth. We gotta censor these guys and get them the hell off the front page now.
All right. This message today is for the blacks, the Hispanics, and the Native Americans. Ye are the children of Israel. Ye are the children of the Most High. Awake, you slumbering Israelites. Ye are the apple of the eye of the Most High Creator, O house of Israel. Ye was cursed for 400 years, as per Deuteronomy 28 of the Bible, the holy word of the Most High. And ye have remained asleep, not knowing who you are and where you come from. You are told and taught from your ex-slave masters, your masters, that ye are different people. Oh, ye Spanish, ye Hispanic, Negroes, and Native Americans. But that is not the truth. Ye make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Ye are the apple of God's eyes and His chosen people above all the other nations on the earth. Amen.
Shalom.
And ye Hispanics and Native Americans, you're part of the 12 tribes of Israel as well. You Puerto Ricans, Seminole Indians, you make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Now you were cursed in Deuteronomy because ye failed to follow God's covenant and his law, statutes, and commandments, all these curses would come upon ye, and ye have been cursed in the field, and cursed, you know, in the communities and everywhere ye go. Ye were brought over here on slave ships, O house of Judah, the Lion of Israel. No other nation of people fulfill all of the curses of Deuteronomy 28, because that was the measuring stick. That was the requirement to being the ancient original Israelites. See, when Yeshua came, you know, as the Gentiles know as Jesus, when Yeshua came, he couldn't just fulfill one or two of the prophecies of the Messiah. He had to fulfill them all, not just one or two. He had to fulfill every single one of them. When Yeshua HaMashiach came to the world, to Israel, he was from the house of Judah, the very same tribe as the so-called Negroes here in this country. The very same people.
That's right.
And he didn't just fulfill one or two of them, and then one or two of the prophecies, and then the world could just debate and try to, or his people try to make excuses for why he didn't fulfill the rest. He fulfilled every single one of them. Not only how he was born, but also what happened after he died.
That's right.
He fulfilled it all. And it's the same thing with the children of Israel. It's the same thing with the house of Judah. As prophesied in Deuteronomy 28, our captivity and our bondage and slavery over this 400 years. In order for you to say that you're a Jew or from the house of Judah or an Israelite, you have to fulfill all the curses of Deuteronomy 28.
That's right.
Because that's the measuring stick. See, that's how it goes. That's the reason why they don't teach you in your churches to read the Old Testament. Because the Old Testament gave a clear indication as to the people for which the book was written about. It gave you a clear indication as to the people to whom God says is the apple of his eye, his chosen inheritance amongst all the nations. So that's why they're not teaching you to read your Old Testament. That's why they even call it the Old Testament. How is it old if the God of yesterday is the same God of today and is the God of tomorrow? If Yah does not change, then what is old and what is new in regards to his word? There is no old and new. There is no past and future and present when you're dealing with the Most High who lives forever. When he says forever, that's what he means. One of the only things that pass away is animal sacrifices. Because Yeshua dying on the cross for his people, the Israelites, and for only his people, the Israelites, negated the need for them to have to then provide sacrifices, sin offerings, and sacrifices for misconduct. Those things were no longer necessary, because when Yeshua died for his people as an unblemished sheep, as the perfect sacrifice, they no longer, again, his people no longer had to provide sacrifice. The priests no longer had to provide sacrifices to atone for the sins of the people. His people, the Israelites. Because no other nation at that time was doing sacrifices to the Most High. So if the law that dealt with sacrifices was no longer necessary because Yeshua died on the cross, then that should be an indication to you whom his people were and also who he died for. Because his death negated the need for future sacrifices, for the continuation of that understanding in the house of Israel. So for all of you who still can't quite come to understanding in terms with the fact that Yeshua, his death on the cross, wasn't for all the nations of the earth, because all the nations of the earth didn't even have the law and didn't even do the sacrifices. So he died for the people to whom that death, that sacrifice, to whom that, those works were fulfilled in doing. So basically, the nation that sacrificed to the Most High, the nation that had sacrificed to atone for sins, the nation that did those things were the one that his death affected. The nation that did those things was the one who his death atoned for their sins. If your nation wasn't doing those things, and therefore your nation wasn't affected by the perfect sacrifice of Jesus, therefore, Yeshua, therefore his death wasn't for you. It's just that simple. But you are taught, falsely so, deceptively so, but you are taught to accept truth from people that hasn't been proven. You've been taught to accept the so-called Jewish people currently residing, kicking their feet up in the Holy Land. You was taught to accept them, but you're not taught to prove it, to challenge it. You're not taught Deuteronomy 28, which gives you the measuring stick, which gives you the proof of who is a Jew, a Hebrew, an Israelite. Who are they and who are they not? But you're so used to going to church and the church man or woman reading one verse and then preaching the whole sermon on it. You're used to that, and you're used to them and not having to require of them to offer any proof as of the Bible of what they're saying. You're just used to that. So when these Edomites, who aren't even part of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, through the craftiness of the UN and our enemy nations against us, when they just move into the land, kick their feet up, and even though they don't fulfill all of the prophecies associated with the people to whom God is talking about, which are the Israelites, when they go there and they do that, no one challenges it. You don't challenge it because you don't know who you are. Because if you knew who you were, you'd throw up your hand and say, bogus. You throw up your hand and say, no way. You throw up your hand and you quote Deuteronomy as well as other books of the Bible, and you say, hey, Yeshua fulfilled all of the prophecies concerning him. That's how we knew he was the Messiah. No one would have accepted him as the Messiah if he had not have fulfilled the prophecies. So why do you accept these fake, this fraud Jews peace when they don't fulfill dang near none of them. And the only nation of people who were brought over on ships as slaves, who were sold in a block as maidservants and bond servants, who were made into sex slaves and took care of all the ultimate needs of our masters, the only people who fulfilled all of the curses associated with the Israelites of Scripture, and still does to this day, are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in this country spread around the whole world. So for those who still have a little itch about those fake imposters currently residing in our holy land that fulfill nothing, and for those who still want to say and put up the Holocaust ain't slavery. And it certainly ain't slavery on slave ships, and it certainly wasn't slavery and bondage for 400 years. And it certainly doesn't make them the bottom of their brethren. You see, because even a Jew is better than a nigger. Right? Even during those times. So at the height of the atrocities done to them, they still didn't. They still wasn't worse off than every other person, every other nation on the face of the earth. And they're not worse off now, as they own the movie theaters, and they own the movie industry, and they own the music industry, and they own the military complex, and their hands, their grubby little hands, are in every major conflict on the planet. So you want to say, well, maybe they're just getting blessed, right? But if you don't fulfill the curses, you have no right to the blessings of the Most High. Just like a rabbit that chews the cud but doesn't have the split hoof as well, is ceremoniously unclean. So you just can't have the one and not the other and think that you're legit. You're just as filthy. You're just as unclean. If you don't fulfill all the prophecies, then you're an imposter. That's what you are. Just like those people who say they love the Lord, they love God, they love Him from Yeshua, but yet they don't fulfill their obligations to the law. They don't follow God's law, statutes, and commandments. You can't have it both ways. If you're the people of the Most High, then you must fulfill the prophecies concerning the people. Just like Yeshua fulfilled the prophecies concerning the Messiah. Or you're a liar and a deceiver and a faker and a charlatan and a joke. And your claim to the Holy Land is bogus, propped up by the very people and the very spiritual demonic forces that Yeshua is coming back to destroy. That's the truth. That's the truth. What man has ears that can hear and eyes that can see? You don't have to be a genius to sit down and listen to the truth, because you've been lied to for a very long time. And it's high time you hear the truth. You ain't hearing it from your churches. Well, why do you think that is? Because the truth doesn't motivate people. The truth doesn't stir them to be extra generous. The truth doesn't motivate them to give them a warm, fuzzy feeling in their heart. It doesn't manipulate them. It doesn't control them. The truth is what it is. Whether you agree with it or not, accept it, yes or no, but it's still the truth. You see, the churches, they've been gaming you, hoodwinking you, stealing from you continually. As long as they were as far back as when they first was forced on you with the sword and the whip. Remember the days of old. That is written because it's important to know how a thing has come to be. It's important to know how it came. That way you can better analyze its validity. Right? You got this health care bill, Obamacare, all right? That everybody says is a great thing and everybody's going to be able to benefit, but how it comes to be is it's a forced mandate, and if you don't agree with it, they'll have the authority to put you in jail, to arrest you. So if you understand where it comes from, you can at least make the determination that if it was good for you, people would just naturally just say, yeah, I'll do that. If somebody came to you and offered you $200,000 just because they want to be generous to you, I don't know how many people would say no. I don't know how many people would be like, I don't want it. Even if the guy isn't even offering no strings, there's nothing, just out of the generosity of their heart. So the simple fact that they're going to punish you for not accepting it should awaken you to the idea that it can't be a good thing.
Jesus will come again.
Jesus shall return again. What will you say to him on that glorious day to him? Jesus, no man knows the hour or the day or the minute, but he's coming.
One day, Jesus is coming. Shall come again.
He shall come again, I tell you.
What shall
you say? What will you be doing, brothers and sisters, on that glorious day? Holy, holy. He's coming. No one knows the day, but he's coming.
Jesus, I love you forever and forever. I shall follow you until the end of time. With this ring I offer you my love. You shall be my Lord and shall have my love. And no matter what, I shall remain by your side. For as it was, it shall be again in the garden land. When you walk with man, I shall serve you, Lord, and I will love you always. Jesus, I love you forever and forever. I shall follow